give me a countdown.
3, 2, 1.
Good evening, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, good. You're listening to us. Hello, world. Welcome to a special episode of Midnight's Edge After Dark Live. We are live, going out to the entire planet, the entire universe. And joining me is, as always, Mr. Tom Connors.
Good evening, good sir. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm fantastic. I'm, of course, your narrator supreme, Mr. Rob Robot Shlomo. I don't know how you can't be excited after that intro. Really.
I'm
You're not excited,
but I'm
then.
trying to keep all this stuff going here. So it's just like yeah,
it's a balancing act. Tom right now is reenacting, and this is a dated reference. Tom right now looks like the guy from the Ed Sullivan Show with the plates, trying to keep them all
oh shit.
Yeah.
Well,
I never really understood what the point of that whole act was. Just I don't. Well, unusual acts. That was always the thing.
I guess.
All right.
So
anyway,
yeah, I don't know if
in a
anybody's
while
watching.
we are live.
Hey, we're on live. Yeah. So it is what it is. Hopefully you guys can hear us. Hopefully we're coming through nice and strong. Hopefully this is something we can still do more often now that we're back up and running again, or so it seems.
Yes, let's see if the YouTube gods allow that. Oh, actually, we just got live, the Fox Drive. Woo, live content, now live. Keep up the fantastic work. Hey, you haven't actually heard the show yet, okay? You're giving us a little too much credit.
You never know, we might suck.
Yeah. So, anyway, let's get to the first story, shall we?
Yeah, it's been a while. We haven't been around much lately. We've been busy working on stuff. We got some news, though. We got a lot of news. So let's bring
You're cutting. All right, Tom, you're cutting out a bit here.
Okay, hopefully that's it for now. I'm going to turn off. Whoops, I got that's fine. Okay, sorry, folks. This is what happens on live programs. Sorry, folks. This is what happens on live programs. It's yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we have to deal with all the wrinkles. Yes.
Okay,
everything
should be ironed out. We got a few viewers, so let's get on with the program. What do you got for us up first here, Rob, for the news?
From the nobody gives a shit file. Okay. Profanities. That's part of a live show. 2 Joker movies coming. I don't want to see a Joker movie. I really don't. Oh boy. Anyway, Deadline. This comes from Deadline. Deadline has confirmed that Warner Brothers is in early development on a Joker standalone film in the Suicide Squad universe. Another one, starring Jered Leto, who will also executive produce. No writer or director are assigned at this time. It's very early. Meanwhile, Todd Phillips's original origins tale film about the Joker, which Deadline broke the news on, is still in development and will fall under a different DC Origins cinematic banner to separate it from the title set during the current day. Joaquin Phoenix is set to star in Phillips's movie.
So, in other words, pick your flavor. Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix. All right, an origin story. Okay.
Yeah, well, anyway, Variety has had news on Leto's Joker title. Let's see which project makes it to the finish line first. Suicide Squad 2 is going to production sometime next year. I don't care. I really don't. I honestly
not
don't
about
want to
this
see
Joker either. Yeah, he was the worst part of the movie in an already not so great movie. And Suicide Squad, out of all the DC movies, is probably the one I like the best, and that's not saying much. So, yeah, take it as you will.
Yeah, my buddy Jake said during one of our summer spectaculars, this version of the Joker might as well just be throwing feces at you. I mean, it's that bad. It's that bad. But here's okay. Now, try to follow me this. Riddle me this, Batman. Why is there a Joker in this universe? This is what Jake's theory was. Why is there a Joker in this universe? Okay, you have a Batman that kills, right? Try to follow me here. Now, according to the Zack Snyder verse, the Joker killed Robin. the Joker has defeated Batman at that point, right?
Yeah.
There should not be a Joker. They should have. Batman would have killed the Joker already.
Well, I was kind of under the impression, and gets into. Whoops, sorry guys. This gets into fan theory territory. I have a feeling that this is not the Joker. I have a feeling that this is actually the what's his face, Tim Drake or
Jason Todd.
Jason Todd. I think it's either one or the other. I have a feeling because for various reasons, whether or not they actually go through with that or not, I have a feeling that may have been the original plan.
Yeah. That Jason Todd, in a tortured state of mind, takes up the mantle of Joker to torment Batman.
Because even though in real life, Jered Leto and Ben Affleck are really close in age, they don't seem so close in age in their portrayals, especially when Jered Leto's next to Harley Quinn when she's, 18, 19, 20 years old. I mean, she's a little older than that, but I mean, she don't seem that old. So, it just, I don't know. I don't really care. I have no interest in this. We've talked about this longer than I've had any interest in this. I quit paying attention like 5 minutes ago, like probably half the audience.
Okay. Yeah. Not looking forward to this.
Who cares? Yeah. I really don't. I mean, thought it was bad enough when we were getting a Joker origin story. I'm like, who needs that? Who cares? We already had one. It was called Batman 1989.
That's right. Yeah. Random game user says, "Where's my Egghead movie?" Joker. Yeah. Anybody else? I mean, Batman has a great rogues gallery. We haven't
had a Riddler in a while.
We haven't had a Riddler in a while. I mean, oh, jeez. Think about all. Even so, I'll take a clock. I'll take the Clock King at this point. I'll take Calendar Man.
Well, kind of going along with this, the rumors that are going around now, besides the fact that Ben Affleck is once again wanting to play Batman, the rumor for the Batman solo film is they're looking at Penguin as a possible villain. So take that with a grain of salt as well, guys.
Well. They keep going back to the same villains though.
Well,
Joker, Penguin.
Yeah, and this is supposed to be a counterpart to the Harley Quinn Sirens movie, I assume. But yeah, let's just face it. This DC universe is really on life support right now. The only thing it's got is an injection of Wonder Woman, and we did a poll on our Facebook group a while back here that was kind of telling, or one of our mods did, about whether or not they thought that Captain Marvel or Wonder Woman was going to be better at the box office, and Captain Marvel kind of won by a margin. So that's kind of telling, considering she's not even out yet. We haven't seen her yet in Avengers. It just shows that a lot more people are
excited for
Captain Marvel. Granted, our group is a little bit more Marvel-sided, but that's still not the point. A lot of members of our group thought Wonder Woman was great, so it just goes to show, I think, that maybe the DC universe has kind of waned on people, and I wonder if Wonder Woman 2 is even going to do nearly as well as they think at this point, because Justice League, with her in it, proved not to be a hit at the same time, so.
Yeah. One of our users brought up the Court of Owls, actually. That would be a really good story. That's actually a pretty convoluted story, but that would actually be really good.
But we can get really to the user. We can do some user questions at the end here. Let's get the rest of the news. I know there was some more news to talk about. Wasn't there a few quotes to go along with this, or did you already get to that?
No, actually, there's a couple quotes coming up about.
Okay, that's right, a different story. Okay, so let's get into that story, shall we? We got
some Doctor Doom news, actually.
Yes, we do. We talked about a Doctor Doom movie coming eventually from Fox as a possibility, but now things aren't looking so well, are they, Rob?
No. This actually comes to us out of Variety. According to a recent report, the script for a solo Doctor Doom movie for 20th Century Fox is almost complete. Unfortunately, the development of this spinoff may be a little too late. Too late as the purchase of Fox from the Walt Disney Company gradually comes to a close, which tentatively cancels all plans for this project. It goes on. Almost 1 year ago, Legion and Fargo writer Noah Hawley was hired to helm the script for a potential Doctor Doom spinoff from 20th Century Fox. Despite being a brilliant character in the comics, both of the Marvel villains' live-action iterations over the years have been wildly disappointing. So, giving him his own movie might be the best way for him to do him justice. According to Hawley, the Doctor Doom movie would have felt like a political thriller showing his time as King of Latveria, which is something that none of the movies have been able to show. This movie would delve into new territory that previous Fantastic Four movies have not explored. So it's safe to say that this villain-led superhero movie would be worth the watch. Now, that actually sounds pretty interesting. Bless you.
I don't think we're going to get it. I really don't. No. And the Sky sale went through today, as far as I know, with Fox. So there's one more step towards the Fox Disney deal going through. Comcast didn't get their hands on Sky. So yeah, things are moving.
Things are moving forward. Yeah, things are a lot further along than we know. According to Noah Hawley himself, he's generally worried about the future of the Doctor Doom movie. Should Disney Fox deal come into effect. While other X-Men properties in post-production should be safe during the deal, there is a good chance that all of Hawley's work on the script could be tossed out. Here's what he had to say on this. I know this is from Noah Hawley. I know there's a little uncertainty given the potential for a Disney merger and the fact that Marvel may regain control of X-Men and Fantastic Four. They may have a plan of their own in a desk drawer. I just don't know. So I think there's sort of a sense of uncertainty. If I were him, I'd start working on a Fantastic Four script right now. Right. I really would.
Yeah, because that's the only thing I can see happening too. Yeah, bringing up the Fantastic Four is if Disney's like, okay, you can do this, but it's got to fit in with what we're planning on doing with the Fantastic Four. So, and really, do we want to see a Doctor Doom movie without the Fantastic Four, or at least some kind of protagonist? Is he that interesting? I mean, I know he's an interesting character, but I mean, is he that interesting enough? Because look at what happened to the Magneto movie. That turned into X-Men First Class because they sat right there and said, you know what? This is kind of difficult to do a movie about a villain in a lot of ways. Even though Magneto is more of an anti-hero in some ways, Doom is really more of a straight-up villain. So I think it could see it be a bit more difficult to do a solo Doom movie. I don't know. But it does sound interesting, like you said, and maybe Disney will be like, all right, we'll borrow some of that, and you can do that. But like I said, they have to keep it within certain restraints that Disney wants to do going forward with the Fantastic Four once and if this merger does go through or sale goes through, however you want to put it, which is looking more and more certain as the days go by. Even though Comcast is trying to come up with their bigger cash bid, Disney's trying to get some more cash together too, it sounds like. So
yeah, I read actually the board votes on the Fox Disney deal on July 5th, I believe. Now that's where the board of directors votes to approve the sale to Disney. The Fox board of directors approved. I may have the date wrong. I'll have to double check, but
we'll know soon though.
We'll know soon enough. And if the board votes to sell to Disney, then it's full steam ahead. I mean, there's really nothing to stop it then. But I don't think Comcast is going to be able to wrestle control away.
Well, not only that, they're looking at an all-cash bid, which, you know, sounds great up front, but there's a lot of taxes involved in that. Mm-hmm. And Disney stock in the long run is worth a hell of a lot more than cash right now, I'm sure. Oh, that's the other thing that they've got to look at.
It has greater growth potential, as they say.
So, yeah. There really isn't too much more to say other than that, I guess, on that subject. So why don't we move on to the next story we got here, Robin? This is something we've talked about a little bit here and there. But now we actually have some confirmation. We got some casting news, and we even have a photo for the new Addams Family film, which is an animated film coming from MGM.
I can't do this all at once, otherwise we'll get copyright strike. Da-na-na.
Click.
Da. Da-na-na.
Da-da-da-da.
Da. Okay, that's how we get around the copyright problem.
Right.
Yes. Actually, this doesn't look too bad.
It looks very similar to the original comics, yes, only in 3D form.
Yeah, and yeah, 3D form. It looks like the Addams Family. It really does. I mean, um, but there was a story that went along with this from Deadline again. Take the source as you will. MGM has set the voice cast for its October 11, 2019 animated take on the Addams Family, including Oscar winners Charlize Theron as Morticia, giggity, Allison Janney, arch nemesis Margot Needler, two-time Oscar nominee Bette Midler, and Chloe Grace Moretz as Wednesday, Finn Wolfhard as Pugsley, and Nick Kroll as Uncle Fester. As previously announced, Oscar Isaac will play Gomez. Sausage Party director Conrad Vernon and Greg Tiernan are co-helming this brand new take on Charles Addams' classic New Yorker cartoon, which has been adapted into various formats since its debut in 1938, including a black and white ABC TV series during the early 1960s, a Hanna-Barbera cartoon during the 70s, two Paramount features, which made over $240 million worldwide during the early 1990s, and a recent Broadway show. So this is probably one property that could work as an animated feature. It really could. Well, it's like I said, it started as I wasn't aware that the Addams Family had been around that long.
Oh yeah, they've been around for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, the Addams Family movies weren't horrible.
I actually love them. Out of all the 90s TV movies we got, the Addams Family films I felt were the best of all of them, and the second film is actually better than the first film. I love Addams Family Values. Christina Ricci as Wednesday was just perfect. That whole thing at the camp, I love that whole bit. Christopher Lloyd at first, when I heard he was playing Fester, I'm like, huh? But then when we got to the movie, I loved it. And of course, the late great Raul Julia was perfect as Gomez, and
oh my god,
Houston owned the part, as Morticia. So yeah,
you could not find a guy more tailor-made to a role than Raul Julia as Gomez Addams, really. Actually, Mundane Matt has just popped into the chat.
Hey Matt.
Hey Matt, what's going on, buddy? Actually, should we do the Willy Wonka story?
Oh sure, why not? They're eyeballing Donald Glover and Ryan Gosling, I guess. I'm assuming for the lead roles.
Yeah, I've got the story from Screen Rant up. Warner Brothers is reportedly looking at big names, including Donald Glover and Ryan Gosling, to headline their upcoming Willy Wonka movie. Directed by Paddington's Paul King, the film is said to be a prequel that could act as an origin of sorts for the famed candy entrepreneur. No! Oh. One thing the project will not be, however, is another retelling of the popular Charlie and the Chocolate Factory novel that's been adapted for the big screen multiple times, meaning this will be an entirely new narrative for audiences to experience. I don't care. I never ever once thought, hey, what was the origin of Willy Wonka? I don't care.
Well, we already kind of got the origin in the Johnny Depp version, and that to me was what was wrong with that one. I didn't want it then, and I don't want it now. It totally demystified the character, made that movie overly long and stupid, and not to mention it was already bad enough, but no, please don't. I mean,
spare us, please. Spare us. We do not want a Willy Wonka origin. I keep saying, I don't understand this thing about wanting to tell people's origin stories about characters you never worried about. I mean, like Dan Harmon said, there's no better way to tell there's no better way to make a character less interesting than to tell his origin story. The reason why you like Willy Wonka is because the character just kind of is. It serves his purpose. Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of origin stories, and we've talked about this time and time again. It's just pointless. As much as I liked Rob Zombie's Halloween, I did not need Michael Myers' backstory, and making him Laurie Strode's brother in the second film really kind of humanized the character even more so. And it's a similar thing here. It's a similar thing we had with Solo. I don't need it.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what. We got some time actually. Why don't we take a few questions from everybody?
Absolutely.
So if you got a question up there, just throw right up in the chat. We got the chat open. We're monitoring the questions. Let us know. Is there anything you want to know?
We're gonna have a little bit of a delay, of course. So until then, we're just gonna have to shoot the shit. So
yeah, we're gonna have to fill that. Yeah, if in comedy we call this, we say stretch. That's all, stretch.
Oops, I can't do any more than that.
Yeah. Letterman used to have a segment about this called Hal Gurney's Network Time Killers. They're Hal Gurney's Network Time Killers.
I thought Lori was the sister in the original two. No, she wasn't. She didn't become the sister until the sequel. That was because John Carpenter was kind of in a corner. He couldn't figure out why to have Michael Myers continue to go after her in the hospital. And he figured, okay, the whole sister thing works. And there was scenes added to the television version, which he wrote sister on the chalkboard and stuff. But those scenes were filmed while they were doing part 2. So, yeah.
Okay. Fred Leggett, any thought? What's the status of Alien Awakening?
As far as I know, it's dead. I have not heard anything about it. And especially if Disney buys Fox, which is seemingly more and more probable, I don't think we're going to see another Alien movie. I really don't. At least not for a while. And if we do, it's going to be like a reboot, or we're going to get that Alien 5 Neil Blomkamp movie, I bet.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not an Alien fan, so that really doesn't interest me. Jungle Jimmy, E3, any thoughts? Yeah, we're seeing a new Splinter Cell for E3. There was that little bonus scene with Sam Fisher in Ghost Recon Wildlands. That's supposed to be setting up a new Splinter Cell game. I'm hoping to see a new Siphon Filter game. I'm always hoping to see a Siphon Filter game at E3. But that's just me. Okay, thoughts on the Halloween picks that were released today? Tom, did you see those?
I did not see those yet. I'll have to check those out.
Okay, while you're checking those out, I'll keep it going. Thoughts on the X-Men plot leak? It sounds terrible. It really does. Any thoughts on Star Wars Rose actor supposedly leaving Instagram, doing Twitter? Okay, all right. Now, let me just say this, okay? Listen, it's not cool to harass to harass her, okay? Rose Tico was a terrible character. It was a terrible movie, but you say boo, you're terrible. Don't come on, don't.
Okay, I actually had a similar conversation about this kind of stuff today with somebody. The smart fans who dislike what Star Wars is becoming will not attack Kathleen Kennedy or any of the stars or anybody else for that matter, including Rian Johnson, because they know that's not how they're going to get attention. That's how they're going to get negative attention. How they're going to get positive attention is how we were able to stand up and say, we're not going to take this anymore, and most people didn't go see Solo in the theaters. That's basically all it is. And I know some people who actually paid to see Deadpool and went to Solo, but we're not going to get into that. But yeah, basically we talked with our wallets. We spoke with our wallets. Yeah. We don't need to be calling names. Sure, Rose Tico is a stupid character, and that entire thing could have been cut out of Last Jedi, and I'm the first one to say that and agree with it. Point is, though, you don't need to go after people. It's stupid and petty, and it just makes the fandom look really dumb.
Okay, Jungle Jimmy. Also, you guys have any exclusive scoops on 2 scoops of Raisin Bran actually in the morning. That's my exclusive.
We got a lot of rumors we hear all the time. I don't know. We don't really have anything necessarily that's scoop that we can go with right off the bat that won't get us in trouble with Andre. But
MCU
or other people.
MCU Fantastic Four villains you would want to see that haven't been in previous films before, like are they doing Spider-Man? Terrax actually was more of a Silver Surfer villain. That's who I'd like to see. I want to see what they could do with Fire Lord, who was one of the former heralds of Galactus. Tom,
I really don't. I'm not a big Silver Surfer. I'm not that I don't like him. Or what was the question again?
X-Men or Fantastic Four villains.
Oh, X-Men villains are fantastic. Well,
Well, just
we've
probably
gotten a lot of the good X-Men villains already. I mean,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
sure there's a few more out there, but it was really nice to see, despite having him be 100% CGI and all that, it was really cool to see the Juggernaut
Yeah,
done
that
right.
does. I totally
So,
forgot that Juggernaut was going to be in that. I really did. I was like, no way, the Juggernaut. Okay. Will be a future episode where Matt Jarborough will be in digital bits or meet with Thompson, Doomcock, or Ren Rants.
well,
Well,
Matt
this.
was supposed to be on the roundtable. Unfortunately, our schedules did not meet up, but we do have a solo roundtable coming up with Doomcock, Rob, and I that will be up on the main channel, hopefully within the next day or so.
And we might be doing more Star Wars stuff very
Yeah,
soon.
we've got a editorial coming very soon. Andre's got coming up. Even though he's away, he would manage to get that. So yeah, we'll be trying to get some. You know, we'll be trying to get those guys on more. We always like to have them on. In fact, I'm trying right now to get Matt on with us.
Yeah. Okay. Any thoughts on James Cameron project Alita Battle Angel? Rodriguez looks okay. Really don't know much about Alita Battle Angel. Thoughts on Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom? Looks pretty good. That's what I thought.
Yeah, I did not like.
Star Lord and dinosaurs versus Gwen and Star Lord and versus Kingpin. I mean, uh,
Yeah.
oh yeah. Woohoo! Live MEAD Grizzly. How you guys doing? From Darkslayer 289. I'm doing fine. Went to the doctor today. Everything checked out pretty well. that was good. Do you want to know which doctor?
Who?
No.
But
Woo! Okay. Stop having Mundane Matt on your show. He's killing your channel. Aw, we like Matt. I won't watch anything with Mundane Matt in it. How about Matt Mundane? How about him? You didn't say about Matt Mundane. Oh man, Star Wars equals shit now. No, please, no, Matt. Okay, Carrie Dalton, what is your latest on New Mutants? Are they actually doing reshoots, or is this a way to shelve the movie for Disney? Oh, they're in reshoots as far as we know. There's got to be something really wrong with the movie. I think it tested poorly. Is our assessment of it. Tom, what do you think about that?
about which one?
New Mutants.
Tested poorly. They did a bunch of reshoots. They were trying to fix it. At this point, I'd be surprised if it sees the light of day, or at least on the big screen. It may just show up on like the. Whoa, somebody's revving their engine up. It might show up on like the Disney streaming service, but I doubt the I don't know. I really don't know. It might go straight to like Hulu or something like that. Because I don't know. They might try and dump it in theaters. I have a feeling they might try and distance it from X-Men as much as possible.
Yeah, yeah. Did you guys get a chance to see Upgrade? No, we did not yet. Looks pretty interesting. Tom, what do you think about Upgrade? Any thoughts on that?
I thought it might actually do better than it did. I'm surprised it didn't do that well. But could be worse, I guess.
And for you, MCU, Fantastic Four, Negative Zone, Nihilus, Mole Man, Super Skrull, Galactics, Harold, you mentioned. I don't think that's a question. Do you think Wolverine fangirl Sarah? Do you guys think Disney will make changes to Lucasfilm before Episode 9 hits theaters? I heard another channel talk about this. They say that there might be some chance. There might be a chance that Kathleen Kennedy steps down, but there's nothing definite yet. They pointed to a website that has been dealing in that rumor. We don't like dealing in rumors, but I
we
think
can sit here all day and talk rumors. But yeah.
I think they will bring in somebody as a director of creative. And that way Kathleen Kennedy gets a safe face and not have to step down.
Yeah, I think you cut out there, but what you were saying, I think, was that they'll have other people come in and kind of take over a little bit more and more producerial roles instead of just having Kathleen Kennedy. And then, like you said, I think after episode 9, she'll be like, "I'm retiring."
Yeah. The damage is done. Any Star Trek news, guys? Cavalier 1645. Sadly, no. There is no. They're
probably pissed they didn't get the Expanse sets real cheap.
We're not.
Supposedly, or not Picard. I was about to call him Picard, but Patrick Stewart is looking at a part in the next season here, which I hope and wish that any and all these Star Trek veterans kind of stay the hell away from the show. I don't know who's feeding them full of shit, but it's just going to tarnish everything.
Yeah. From Shinyoigo the Dragon Slayer, what video game do you think would actually make good movies? Personally, I think Metroid could make a great movie. Action, sci-fi, horror, thriller, as long as it's rated R. I've been saying for years, if you get the right director, Metal Gear Solid would make a really good movie.
Super Mario Brothers was a pretty good horror movie. No, I'm just kidding.
Madden would make it.
Put some mustard on it.
But boom, right there. Got boom. You got a boom right there. Oliver Smith.
If you got a quarterback and he throws the ball and the guy catches it, that's a good quarterback.
Oliver Smith, do you know about the recent video campaign did about Kennedy? Yes, I watched it. Very good points.
It's funny to see him turn face all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Especially considering he's a lot higher up in the hierarchy and could possibly put himself in a position to not get as many exclusives and goodies and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. I was a little surprised he went to that extent, but I guess I got to give him credit for finally coming out and saying something. I mean, I had to have a change of heart too when I finally noticed what Kennedy was doing, and you know, I just went into this knowing what her past was, and I didn't really see it in The Force Awakens and Rogue One, but after The Last Jedi, and especially now after Solo, I can definitely see the political.
Yeah, you definitely see there's an agenda at play. Alice or Hell, is this the Q&A we were promised? No, this is not.
No, because we're not quite to 10K yet, but that is coming. That's a good question. No, what we're actually doing is we're possibly going to be going back to the old style of doing live news and talking to you guys and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah,
that's kind of what we're doing here.
Thoughts on the Bumblebee teaser? Haven't seen it yet. I
did. It looks okay.
Okay. Tyler Ranger, I love that Rob Robot Shlomo is roboting. Thank you very much. Spider-Man, Radioactive Cosmic Rays, Spider-Man for PS4 E3. Yeah, we're supposed to see some more Spider-Man footage. Spider-Man. Prince Caspian, New Mutants. Do you think New Mutants has a bigger chance of success than Dark Phoenix? Probably not, because it doesn't have the name recognition.
Like I said, yeah, unless they totally try and market it as a non-X-Men movie, it might resonate with the horror crowd, but I just don't see them putting the push behind it that they will. And Dark Phoenix, we don't even know what kind of a push they're going to put behind that yet either. They pushed this movie clear off till, what was it, February?
Yeah.
Yeah, and what we're hearing from everything, yeah. And yes, there just to kind of comment on the leaks recently, supposedly somebody come out and read it and said that those leaks were bullshit and all this kind of stuff. But if you're going to believe that, you might as well believe the other one. So unless you have even if the studio were to come out now and deny that crap, I would even take that with a grain of salt, because
yeah,
frankly, it lines up with a lot of stuff we've been hearing and seeing. And sure, there's going to be a ton of stuff that'll probably change between now and then. That's one of the reasons why it probably got pushed.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I have no faith in it. I really don't. I'm surprised they're spending as much time. I'm surprised they didn't just get it out there this summer. Just say to hell with it.
This is going. Oliver Smith, what do you think of the future? I think the future is going to be after of blah. Oliver Smith, what do you think the future of Discovery is going to be after the reemergence of Viacom and CBS, if that goes through sooner? That's a good question. I've been saying that I don't want to say Discovery's on thin ice, but they were rushing it into production. It looks to us that they were rushing it into production before the merger, so that way they can get it, they can get funding, they can spend the money, and so that they could say, hey, we got this, so we might as well finish it. Otherwise, if the merger was going to go through, I think that would have been one of the things that would have gotten the axe. That's my personal opinion.
Right.
Yeah. Lost Cause. Do you think Lord and Miller killed all credibility they got from the Lego movie? They were out of their depth with the Solo movie.
They're lucky it flopped, basically. If it would have been a huge hit and a decent movie, then I'd be worried if I were them. At this point, everybody's going to kind of forget they had anything to do with the Solo movie after a while because it did so bad. And this is something I said in a roundtable too. They should have just released the Lord and Miller version and said to hell with it. Because at that point, at least they would have just had a shitty movie. If that was the case, it could have been better. It could have been worse. We don't know.
It was practically done.
But at this point, now you got a shitty movie plus you're out that extra money because they ostensibly shot the movie twice. So I don't even believe that $250 million budget. So honestly, I think Lord and Miller are fine. I wouldn't worry too much about them. I think they're at this moment in time, Kennedy is in worse position than they are.
Oh yeah. To Rob or Tom or Rob, have you seen the film Red Sparrow? No, I have not.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Night Whisperer Ace.
Here, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. $3 Theater. Hey, if you smell, I'm gonna try to meet Grace Randolph in a few weeks. Oh God. Okay, yeah. Escape from New York was practically a Metal Gear Solid movie. Yeah.
I love Escape from New York.
There was a question about Thundercats. Oh, Night Whisperer Ace. You guys made me laugh so much when you were talking about the whole way they were doing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the whole Thundercats. Keep it up. Like, okay, thank you. Thank you. Very good compliment.
Well, speaking of the whole, wasn't that where Metal Gear got the name Snake from?
Yes, from Snake Plissken. Yeah. And actually, there's a line of dialogue. He says his name's Iroquois Pliskin in the Metal Gear Solid 2: Sons of Liberty. So,
I haven't played a Metal Gear game since the PlayStation, and when I tried playing one of the newer ones on the PS3, I actually got motion sickness, which is strange for me. But yeah,
the whole series is, and Hideo Kojima has said this. I read interviews. The game itself is inspired by James Bond and the 1960s James Bond movies, but the character Snake is Snake Plissken from Escape from New York, which in Japan was titled like New York 1999 or something. So it's a weird kind of thing that you have all these two contrasting different styles in that game. It really is. Universal has got into an agreement with MGM for the international rights to Bond 25. Thoughts? Thoughts are probably nothing's going to change. Just really how the movies get into your hands on DVD and in theaters, because Barbara Broccoli and Michael Wilson still control the rights to the series, and that's all they do. So Barbara Broccoli's still in charge. So as long as she's still there, then I'm not really that worried.
You're the Bond man, so I have no idea.
Yeah. How do you do the Hideo Kojima trolling in an Metal Gear Solid movie? I mean, that's a big part of this series. We need trolling. You have to do it very carefully. I used to love when he used to open the lockers and there'd be pictures of the Japanese models. That was actually a lot of fun. Giggity.
Careful, Rob. We don't need a Me Too moment.
No. Who is worse, Ryan Johnson? I'm not going to touch that one.
Wait, what is it?
Who's worse, Ryan Johnson or Bryan Singer?
Oh boy,
worse totally in what
way? Yeah,
totally different. It's apples and
Bryan Singer does have some talent.
Bryan Singer actually did something. Bryan Singer actually did something probably illegal. So,
and then there's that.
Ryan Johnson ruined him.
And Ryan Johnson did something that ought to be illegal. But
yes,
we won't go too crazy there. We're going to
Ryan
get
Johnson
in trouble.
Ryan
This is normally
Johnson,
why we're not live.
Yeah, Ryan Johnson committed cultural vandalism, is what That's that's what I'll say about that. The Kong Skull Island directors, how Metal Gear Solid movie. Personally, I think the Russos would have been a better choice due to Winter Soldier. I think you're right. Do you think Viac? I think Viac all the time.
What is
Ryan Johnson or Zack Snyder? Advantage push. There are no winners here. So, what happened to the guy who used to narrate? What happened to the guy who used to narrate the Trankgate videos? That was Andre's previous partner, Kevin. He never really said why he stopped doing the narration.
As far as I could tell, without getting into it too much, because I think this is something that Andre will cover in the Beyond the Edge series. But I think he just had too many personal, responsibilities and stuff that he just didn't have the time for Midnight's Edge, and that's kind of why we're involved, I guess.
Yeah, that's why. That's actually the reason why Andre reached out to me. He said he saw my video on the Inhumans. He said this guy knows his stuff, and I told him, it says, well, you know what? If Kevin wants to come back in some capacity, leave the door open for him. That's all you can do.
I'm not sure what the hell he saw in me, but
Will the Mangold Boba Fett movie actually happen?
I think so. I honestly do. We bring this up a little bit in the roundtable. I think that the Boba Fett movie being announced straight away was a direct result of Disney saying, all right, shit's gone on long enough. We need to give the fans what they want. And if you've noticed, Boba Fett was something that it seemed like Kathleen Kennedy had no interest in.
Yeah.
Because it kept getting put on the back burner. And that's a movie that even George Lucas, I think, had plans for back before he even sold Disney. So I think that I have a feeling that's going to be one of the next things that gets in line after Obi-Wan. For sure, because that's, I think, something that'll help win some fans back if it's good.
Win some good, garner some goodwill. My thoughts on the Me Too movement. I talk about here. Come on, jokes aside. Answer my Masters of the Universe question. You passed in front and behind it already. We did.
We did. Yeah, I didn't see it. Everything's going by.
I didn't
so
see
fast,
it. Posted
guys.
it. Yeah,
I think they asked earlier if there was any new Masters news. Not that we know of, other than they're hard at work on it, and they're going to do whatever it takes to get it out by 2019. That's just all there is to it.
Guys, do you think Viacom winning the merger would be good for Star Trek? Yes, I do, because Sherry Redstone, I think, really valued the Star Trek franchise. She knew what it would. She knew what it meant to. She knew what it meant to Paramount.
Well, not just that. Then you're able to not have to do all this backhanded, underhanded bullshit like they've had to do with the copyright and
just everything goes under one roof. That's good. That's a good thing.
No, we haven't. I haven't seen Wrinkle in Time, and I highly doubt Rob has either.
No.
Is Gambit still a thing? As far as we know, they keep talking about it. It's supposed to start filming, I believe, this fall. Will it?
Yeah.
I doubt it, unless they find a way to work it into the Disney deal. I have a feeling a lot of anything X-Men related is going to get kind of put on hold because they will wait to see what happens.
Yeah. Robot Shlomo, if Ryan Johnson did cultural vandalism with The Last Jedi, what would a Zack Snyder directed TLJ have been? Unwatchable? It would have been a crime against cinema. That's what it would have been. Let's see. Just do a fourth Kelvin movie. That's what they want to do. A few more questions here. I actually saw a question before. What if Boba Fett fails? If Boba Fett fails, then they are up the creek. Then heads are gonna roll. What would have been like if Zack Snyder directed The Last Jedi? It would have been a lot of slow motion lightsaber fights.
Yeah, probably.
Predictions and bets. Who's gonna die in Avengers 4? I don't want to see anybody die in Avengers 4. I would much rather that they give these characters a good send off. Here's the thing: Kevin Feige has said that he looks at these characters like James Bond, and that eventually they're going to be recast. So I would think that at some point, when Chris Evans or Robert Downey Jr. or Chris Hemsworth bow out, they're going to take a hiatus. The characters are still going to exist off screen, kind of like how they do in Marvel Comics, and eventually they will come back in some other with someone else playing them.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Hotel Artemis?
I'm looking forward to it. Have
Looks
you even
kinda-
seen the John Wick movies yet?
No, I haven't.
You need to get on that. Those are really good.
I do. Hotel Artemis looks kind of weird, but it looks kind of cool.
It sounds like it's going to be pretty neat. It's going to be about the hotel in the story. So if you haven't seen the movies, you don't really get it. But it's kind of like the central of the whole central hub kind of thing of all the killers and stuff. And it's kind of like neutral ground and stuff like it. It is going to be neat to kind of see all the ins and outs as far as like how the business goes down. And Keanu's supposed to have a cameo and stuff. So it'll be cool.
Thoughts on John Sayles' Jurassic Park with human dinosaurs with guns? I spoke to the concept artist. He gave me new details. Dinosaurs are cool. Dinosaurs are guns sound awesome.
As long as they quit with the genetically engineered dinosaurs, I'm sick of those. Just give me the regular dinosaurs. Those were good enough.
Thailand Ranger or whatever. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce that. With comics, you Marvel or DC guys. I read Green Lantern Corps for years. I read Green Lantern for years. I love Daredevil. I love Batman. I really don't have any hard and fast rules regarding the comics. Whatever I like, I like. Baghead, Kathleen Kennedy dies in Avengers 4. That's Lost Cause 78. Kennedy will reboot Boba Fett as a female character and call it Booba Fett.
Booby Fett.
I like this guy. Oh, why didn't I think of that? That's clever. I just want Halo for the PC from Fred Leggett. Download an emulator. You can play it on the PC. There was a PC version of Halo.
Hello, Matt.
Matt,
you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
There he is.
Hey, there's Matt.
Yeah, I can finally get through Discord. It's not the easiest thing.
I know,
to send
it's a
someone
pain
to-
in the ass. That's what I've been working on. That's why I've been so quiet.
But it's
Well,
a better it's a better system than Skype. I'll tell you that.
Well, the thing is, it uses a lot less memory, a lot less bandwidth too. I mean, for some strange reason,
Yeah.
Skype's just a pig, you know. But
Okay,
yeah,
let's take some more questions here real quick. Wolverine fangirl, do you think that Disney may have plans for the Fantastic Four once they get the film rights back, mainly because Marvel Comics is bringing them back into comics? Yes, I do. I'm sure they've already had meetings about it. I have a feeling they've got plans. Will we see anything before like 2020? Probably not. What do you guys think?
But we're not going to see anything until like 2022. You know,
Yeah, well,
or
we'll
if
start
the
hearing
deal
stuff,
if the
but
deal
yeah.
goes through, then they're going to tell us right away.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
because they haven't said anything about Phase 4. Like they're literally holding everything until to see whether or not this deal goes through. And there was a new movement on that today. Did you hear about that? Like
I'd read actually on Reuters that the Fox board is going to vote whether or not to approve the sale. I think on July 5th or something like that.
And Fox
Well,
got a
it's-
hold of Sky today too. Yeah.
Well, Fox already had Sky, and I think like the thing is they had to it was something along they had to sell Fox News in order to allow Disney to buy Sky. I don't know, like I saw it briefly, but this whole thing is getting really, really, really messy.
This is why we shouldn't do live shows. No, I'm just kidding. All right.
This is why you do live shows with like really silent keyboards.
Right.
I have a mechanical keyboard, so I'm just like tack, 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 tack. You know?
Well, I was going to tell Rob he should probably hit his mute button when he does that, but I wasn't going to say it
Yeah.
live. But hey, we might as
Too
well.
much clackety
We
clackety
broke the
clack.
fourth wall so many times already. We got all kinds of questions
that
here.
makes it part of the fun.
Baghead. Disney wants Galactus and the Silver Surfer. Yeah, they do. They wanted Silver Surfer for Infinity War.
Adam Wolford. Hey, Midnight's Edge After Dark. What do you guys think of the episode 9 leaks? They sound really dumb.
They do, yeah.
I don't know what to think of them. Honestly, I don't think they are Trevorrow's script. But the fact that Leia's in there makes me wonder. I don't know how they're going to handle that, obviously, and I don't see them recasting her. Now they may have enough footage left over that they could probably work something out. I don't know.
I'm not sure. Yeah. What's supposed to get ugly about the Disney merger? I mean, what is supposed to? I don't understand
Well,
why.
what it is you have Comcast coming in, right?
Oh, okay.
And Comcast is
much
like
as I
a
don't
fucking rich kid who can't be told no. I don't
Yeah,
think they realize that
and
nobody's real interested.
I don't want to sit there and like shill Grace Randolph for anyone in the audience who may hate Grace Randolph. I know there's one. But she did a video breaking down this merger, and it was actually really fascinating. What to expect from Comcast, and whether or not, like, there's even a new player in Fox. They own like 4% of Fox's shares, so they're going to be someone that to deal with, and that's why I think ultimately Disney's going to win out over Comcast. But at this point, Disney's probably like really wanting to push the vote back after the release of Incredibles 2, because with what was it, with Solo failing and I forget some other reason,
The Roseanne show.
In the Roseanne show, yeah, their stocks dropped to under $100.
Which we didn't really bring up the stocks too much because I have a feeling that the whole Roseanne thing had a lot more to do than Solo.
Yes, I talked to Jeremy Conrad. He's Manabite on Twitter.
Yeah.
And he was telling me that Roseanne had the highest purchase ad buy at like
it was the number
150,000
on TV right now.
I fully expect them to announce Darlene by the end of this
I have
week.
a feeling too, especially after what I've been hearing today. We haven't talked about that too much here on After Dark because of the whole. It's not stuff we normally get into. But
Yeah.
I'm
waiting for the news to drop before I bring it up again, but I've already talked about it once. And
hey, as Rob and I said in private, though, they did it to Valerie. That's old when kids won't remember who are listening.
Yeah,
it was a show back in the 80s with Jason Bateman.
Valerie Harper. Yeah, I was saying this is a good time to do my Roseanne impression. Damn. So that's my Roseanne. Becky, get out here! But anyway, Roseanne.
I'm a woman and men are stupid. That's my whole act. Suck my dick.
Dan, a lesbian kissed me. Can she move in?
Okay,
So didn't
we're gonna get in
Comcast?
trouble. Holy shit!
Yeah.
dude, this is YouTube After Dark.
I know, but we
no
haven't done live for
one
this
cares.
reason, because Rob and I can get pretty racy sometimes. So,
I've talked to you guys off air. I know you got to hold it with those N words though, man.
Oh
right?
yeah, right. Yeah,
You got to really lay off the N word there. That's the negative. You're too negative. That's the N word.
N word. Nipsey Russell.
You guys already talked about the whole Rose Tico thing today. Do you talk about that
briefly?
We said it's just you can say boo boo, you're terrible, boo boo, but don't cross the line. Don't make it personal. Don't threaten her, please.
Right. And I said the best way to speak is with our wallets, which we did. So
yeah, she's an actress. She's just doing a job, really. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, it's I feel pretty bad for her, but people were asking me like, "Are you going to talk about it?" I'm like, "I shouldn't talk about it," and then I'm like, "No, I'm going to talk about it." I'm going to talk about it because it's already at like 12,000 views, so it's like
Graham Strauss. I remember Valerie. God, we're old. I'm like, yeah, we are. I've been at this for a long time. I have been.
Back in Jason Bateman's first career, before
Yes.
Teen Wolf 2.
I remember when he was on Silver Spoons with Ricky Schroeder.
Yes, indeed.
That's how far back I go. Oh God, and I so loved Aaron Gray. Oh man, that's like my first one. That was like my first Aaron Gray was the first time I said this like I knew I just knew like who's that? Like she's pretty. Like it was like Forrest Gump whenever I see her on television. So
for me, that was actually Kim Cattrall in Big Trouble Little China. For some reason, it wasn't like Mannequin would have been a better sexual awakening movie.
I was gonna say yeah,
but I was 5. I was 5. So it's kind of like
I was she was better than that, but yeah.
Well, she's hot as hell in Mannequin. It's like I discovered her in Big Trouble, and then I saw Mannequin, and then I had some awkward teenage years.
I bet Mannequin's a movie that most kids haven't seen nowadays.
Oh yeah, it's like how many people are going to go back and
have
remember?
The Blu-ray. That's how sad I am, but yeah.
Oh, hey Matt, did you hear about Anita asking for $35K to open a free Discord server? That's a low rent move.
I did. No, I did. I haven't covered it myself, mostly because I'm just kind of like I don't know. I would view that as more like pedantic bitching about Anita, and I've bitched a lot about Anita over the years. But it's like people give her the money, and so I feel that they're dumb.
Yes. Well, the old
can
saying
give
of
me the
fool
money.
is money, right?
Yeah, I mean, they could just give me the money. I already have a Discord server with nearly 1,000 people in it, so there we go.
Question: Have you Midnight's Edge After Dark? Have you guys heard at STD maybe delayed or canceled?
Can't say.
No, we haven't heard that actually, but
I've heard rumors that.
But if there's a just and loving God, it will be.
Well, considering the fact that the show's up for Emmys, if it wins awards, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, if it wins Emmys, we're fucked. It's
like, and I will say, I know Doug Jones personally. I've known the guy for years, and I would love to see him win because I thought he was really good as Saru.
He was one of the only good parts of the show.
So I'm willing to. And he always gets like second billing on everything. You know.
Well, that was one thing we did say in the Trek logs was that when he became Captain Saru, the show was actually kind of interesting for about 5 minutes.
And he actually acted like a captain.
Yeah.
He showed concern for his shipmates. Yeah.
Who makes you better just for knowing her, and if you don't know how, she'll tell you how.
I actually haven't seen the second half of the season, so.
Oh, good God!
I think it's because I had my daughter, and she was a couple weeks old, and I'm like, I don't have time to like invest into like.
You don't have time for that negativity. No, I know you liked it, but
Well, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed what I saw, but it's also like I just haven't jumped back.
Everything we predicted happened. Just so you know.
Shinyungo the Dragon Slayer. Why didn't the Asian girls go after Stan and Kyle after making Tweak and Craig gay? I haven't seen South Park in a long time, so I'm not sure. Well, I'm not sure.
Oh, the tweaking gay thing was great.
That was
great.
Oh man, you gotta get caught up on South Park, man. What the hell? You're missing out, man. That's some of the best TV around.
I will say though, the season finale from this last year sucked. It was one of their worst episodes ever. Yeah. It was just so like they had built up so much stuff, and then it was just this. And I wonder if they did that on purpose as like a subtle haha. This is the joke.
That's what I was saying with them. I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah.
I removed Comedy Central from my favorites on my cable on my selection there after the Daily Show went to shit. I did, and I was like,
South Park's on Hulu, man.
Yeah, that's true, and it's unedited on Hulu too.
Yeah, even better yet. Yeah,
so it's uncensored. I will say though, the opposition on Comedy Central is pretty fucking funny. Mm-hmm. So
it's too bad nobody watches it.
I don't know. I mean, I watch clips on YouTube because when they took away Hulu, or Hulu took away Daily Show and At Midnight, they stopped airing the episodes on there, and that's how I watched it. And once they took it away, I was like, well, I'm just not going to watch.
Rob did watch Solo: A Star Wars Story, Captain
Sake Mangusto, yes.
And he loved it. It was his favorite fucking movie of the year.
I loved it. It was much better than Cats. I am going to see it again cha-ching, and again.
Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching,
now there is a review
Keep
coming.
Going.
There is a review coming soon.
Don't you know this is YouTube? You cannot be favorable towards Solo.
Oh, he did not enjoy it. That's the short version. But
I've kind of softened over the last couple of days. I told my brother tonight. I went over to my brother's house tonight. He said, "Have you seen Solo?" And my brother does not get sarcasm. And I told him Solo was a movie. That was my assessment. Solo was a movie. It was shot up with cameras. It was shown in a theater. It was projected on the screen. On a screen. He goes, I don't understand what that means. What does that mean? Just tell me how you like it. I don't understand what that means. I'm like, you fucking dumbass. Like, what the hell is wrong? This is the same guy who keeps trying to give me comedy material.
Here's one for you, Rob. I know you guys don't, this is from JudgeMan03. I know you guys don't do sports, but do you guys have any thoughts on ESPN getting UFC rights and Fox signing a deal with WWE? Well, if they show it on, it'll go right along. WWE will go good with Fox News at least, but
UFC is not a sport. UFC is cockfighting with humans.
That's literally. When I ran for governor, like, because I had won the whole thing was I won a radio station contest that was going to run me for governor of California. That legitimately happened. and they sent me to Las Vegas for like one night as like a gift, you know.
Oh wow!
And so they put me up in the Mandalay Bay, and it was this whole package deal that they had, and it was like, here's tickets to a UFC pay-per-view event, and I'm all like, yeah, blood sports. And so my friend and I get really drunk. We go down there. We got really horrible seats. We watch the first 2 bouts. It's like this, you know, brings out a guy like, oh, this dude knows jiu-jitsu. Like, all right, cool. Then that guy knows jiu-jitsu too. Yeah. I didn't really know what jiu-jitsu was at the time. I thought like there was a lot more active than just dry humping.
That's what I said. I used to do a whole bit about Ultimate Fighting is not a sport. It's gay pornography. It really is. It's 2 guys, two half-naked, sweaty guys rolling around the floor with no daylight between them. How is that a sport?
Okay.
Billy Barnett says, "Wow, Rob, I didn't know you despised your brother so much."
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't know the half of it. Tom's heard the stories. I have a brother whose goal right now, whose sole mission is to find a Waffle House, is to go to a Waffle House. And I'm like, why the hell do you want to go to Oh, I got to go to a Waffle House. I got to go to Waffle House. It's terrible food. They serve the people in the South. I'm like, what the hell is so special about Waffle House? Oh God, it's unbelievable.
What do we think of Thundercats Roar, Adam Morford?
We think it looks terrible. That's what we think.
Horrible. Yeah.
Oh, there's actually I just got this notification. There was a shooting threat at CalArts, and CalArts is and they said it says here may have been over cartoon controversy. So somebody might have sent in a shooting threat to CalArts.
I had enough. They done fuck with my Lion-O now.
Over Thundercats.
Thundercats. Oh.
I need to go through read the article. Came out about 12 hours ago. I don't know how I didn't see this.
From Memphis 78, and is this going to be archived? Is this going to be archived, Tom?
It should be, yeah.
Should be. That answers that. Later, peepers. I'll go where live chats, answer action questions, quick succession. Big boss wishes all wells. Okay, well, see you later.
We're trying.
We're trying. Come back again.
Here. Next, please review.
Next, Captain Sake Mangusto. Next, please review and rant about female cosplay wrestling in a pool of spaghetti, please. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Well, there was a real question in there somewhere. Fusion, I think that's how you pronounce it, says, do you think Time Warner will sell DC and Warner Brothers separately if the merger with AT&T doesn't go through?
No. I don't think they will.
Because Warner Brothers is a big part of it. DC is a different story altogether. Because Warner Brothers doesn't really need DC. They don't need it. It's not like something they need. They could sell it. It might be worth something more to them to sell it down the road if they don't start doing well with the films. But with their DC service coming up, if that starts doing really well, I doubt they're going to want to get rid of it. And that's the whole point of having AT&T involved, is they want to be more competitive in the future with all the, upcoming streaming services and stuff.
Carrie Dalton, I will hear no bad words about Waffle House. No better place to eat after drinking. I recommend loaded hash browns. We have a lot of pizza places that are open late up here. So we grab a lot of Greek pizza too.
That's why you can't lose weight, Rob.
Probably, yeah. I keep gaining and losing the same 3 pounds over and over again now. So.
I know it's late, but a review at Ghost in the Shell 2017 might be post-mortem. I have the Blu-ray. I haven't watched it yet. I don't think you've seen it.
It's not a bad movie.
I've got it. I just haven't watched it.
And that would get me shot in certain parts of the internet for saying that, but it's not like I went and saw it in theaters last year, and I didn't think it was that horrible. Like, granted,
you like just
I haven't
everything,
seen.
Though, man.
You don't spend 14 years working in movie theaters without finding something to enjoy about everything.
I know.
But no, because I will always look for like the most entertaining aspect of something. Right, I'm easily entertained.
The video store is the same way, only worse because you got to deal with the B movies and shit and the weird porno.
Yeah. Well, the weird porno is. Well, I mean, again, long nights, but it's more or less like I even went into Ghostbusters wanting to enjoy it, like hoping I was wrong. I went in there like specifically kind of excited, like, okay, please let me be wrong. And no, I was so right. But
that's kind of how I went into Solo. I'm like, well, maybe I'm wrong. I went in with like tempered expectations to Solo because
You know, the reviews were kind of iffy on it, and I'm like, all right. You know, plus it was like my girlfriend and I doing date night sort of thing. And so like I was just excited to see it, and I would say like don't see it in 3D. The fact that 3D actually really kills some of the cinematography. However funny that is.
What cinematography?
Yeah.
No, there's some really good cinematography in that movie. There is like there
can't see it.
there is. That's the problem too. It's really fucking
Even
dark.
not in the. I'm sorry. That movie was just.
I agree. No, I agree. Like there's like I agree with you, but they should have just finished and released the Phil Lord and Chris Miller cut. I think it would have cost them significantly less. But I do argue that this movie will go down being better fared than the Phantom Menace.
I'd rather watch the Phantom Menace. I'm sorry. At least that's got cooler moments in it.
I'm gonna say right now. I think that in down the road, I think you're right. I think down the road time will be kinder to Solo than it will be to, like I said, some of the prequel movies. I think like in a year and a half, when people start watching on television, when it's on like FX, and that you can say like there are gonna be people say, this isn't that bad.
I think Ollie Redenbacher fucked it for me. I'm sorry.
He was in an impossible situation. He really was.
Well, here's the way I see it. Here's my theory, my prediction. What's going to happen is this movie is going to get a sequel, right? It will make enough to maybe not be profitable, but it will make enough to warrant a sequel. And they're going to spend like a fair amount of like Willow 2 is not going to happen. Right, obviously.
I'd rather see Willow 2 instead.
After this is not going to happen. Like had it done a lot more money, probably would have been more on the thing. But Disney's invested into this. They're invested into this character.
They can't blame Opie Cunningham for this though. You can't. You cannot blame Ron Howard for this mess.
I'm not. No. I'm not blaming Ron Howard. Not at all.
Aren't, but Disney can't either.
Well, no, they're not. They're not. They wouldn't. He's a longtime friend. I don't think they would throw him under the bus. They wouldn't throw those. If anything, they'll go back to Phil Lord and Chris Miller, and they'll throw them under the bus.
And like I said earlier in the podcast, I said Kennedy's in more trouble right now than Miller and Lord.
Yeah. The buck stops with her, and the big fan backlash. I mean, like John. The fact that John fucking Campea came out and like did a video about how she's got to go.
Yeah, random game users right though. At least Phantom Menace was shot in color.
Actually, one of the things and Doomcock brought this up. One of the things I mentioned in my review that I'll be posting in the next day or two is that, and as Tom said that we say, well, maybe she's not putting her agenda. I'm like, no, she's putting her agenda front and center in these movies, Kathleen Kennedy, and she's doing this thing where she's projecting herself into these roles, which is why all the new movies have this strong female characters, which is why Rey is so overpowered, why Jyn Erso is the hero of Rogue One. It looks like she's injecting herself into these films. And I just brought the conversation to a halt.
No, I mean, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to see. Like that's possible. I mean, the thing is, we know that Kathleen Kennedy's a feminist, right? We know that she wants to push that idea, and that's fine. I don't mind female-led movies, not one damn bit.
No,
I just want them to be well written.
That's not the problem I had either. I didn't even have an issue with Rey per se in the first movie. That wasn't an issue.
It was a lot of people, but the thing is, there are so many vocal people that are just like on social media that are just like, fuck Rey, marry Sue, and it's like, and you can't even discuss with them like maybe Luke was a little bit on the Gary Sue side of things, right? But this is like, again, this is a fantasy. It's not, this isn't like a gritty war movie. The Force works in mysterious ways and shit.
Yeah.
Menphillis 78. Are you saying that Kathleen Kennedy is L337? I think that L337 is a parody of her, and I think she got really pissed at Lord and Miller for that
fucking robot. I tell you what,
she built herself. They didn't create the robot. It was
she built
Kasdan.
herself. She built herself, and now she's part of the fucking Falcon, and she started this whole Droid Lives movement. I don't get it. People treated 3PO and R2D2 like shit. Because they're droids, they're fucking equipment.
Well, she started it, and then she subsequently didn't
And then she gets trapped in the Falcon. How's that for?
Well, she gets trapped. Well, and the thing is, did you catch that there was actually a subtle reference to Empire Strikes Back in that too?
Where?
Oh yeah, but about the dialect, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
like, I mean, that's if you want to believe. I thought that was actually kind of cool. But then again, Lawrence Kasdan, right? Like Lawrence Kasdan.
There's all kinds of stuff now that could tie into that. Like I said, every time they have somebody say, "Hey, hear me, baby, hold together," or whatever, you know, and every time fucking Lando talks to the Falcon in Return of the Jedi, now it's gonna mean that much more. And like I said, watching Episode 9, if they actually do have Lando come back, he'll have a moment where he starts rubbing the council and goes, "I missed you, baby." You know damn well, and he's
got
gonna
him dry humping.
Yeah,
No, and I get that. I do get that, and it's. I hope they don't do that. I don't think they are. I do feel that that J.J. Abrams is going to very much retool a lot of what Rian Johnson did.
How can they go from one of the best droids ever with K2SO to one of the worst ever with this? Is beyond me.
I don't know. I love K2SO.
I do too. I thought it was awesome.
I love that. He was great, and it was like it was like, okay, cool. Like, he's a droid, he's got personality. I didn't mind L337. I didn't mind her. Like, I thought I would, knowing the whole politics side of things going into it.
I'm sorry.
And then I just kind of like, I laughed more when she died. I was just like, that's what you get. That's what you get. But I also like didn't hate her. Like, I thought, like, the thing is, there's nothing wrong with a droid having convictions. There's nothing wrong with a droid. But it's like, the thing is, no one gave her any, like, she spouted off her rhetoric like a person you would see, like on a street corner yelling about shit. Like, no one ever gave her the time of day for it. Even Lando was like, okay, whatever. It was like he just accepted that about her, right? That was the whole comment. Have you ever thought about, wiping her memory? Yeah, but she's got the navigation system, so I gotta like take the good at the bad, and like just any like any kind of relationship. I mean, that was the entire idea. There was just this relationship. And so it's like, I liked it. I thought it was interesting.
I'm glad you liked it. I guess I'm not trying to take away from anybody who did, and I didn't really have a real huge problem with her until they put her in the Falcon. That's what really pissed me off. I'm like, oh my god, they just made the Falcon a character. Really, seriously?
That was.
Like I said,
I get that.
But like I said, though, I think time is going to be kinder to Solo than it will be to something like than it was to the Phantom Menace. I really do. Sorry. You do have to watch. I think it's one of those things that you do kind of have to watch it, and it will become kind of a guilty pleasure for people.
Well, like I said, they are going to do a sequel. Because I guarantee you, Solo 2. Whatever, and that could tie into Boba Fett's movie, or it could tie into the Obi-Wan thing. I hope they don't go the Obi-Wan route with that, to be honest with you. I don't want Han and Obi-Wan to meet prior to Mos Eisley, but at the same time, they could meet and they could know each other, and that would also be like, look, I'm going to be here, come find me if you're ever in the area, sort of thing. But Han doesn't really believe in the ways of the Jedi. So that if he sees Obi-Wan doing his shit, it's going to kind of retcon some stuff, and that's going to anger a lot of fans. But if they do a sequel, the sequel is going to be a lot better fleshed out. It's not going to have these problems, and we might look at Solo as kind of like a rocky start to what could be a good trilogy.
Yeah. One thing I'll tell you though. My favorite part of the movie was actually the end. And for people who. But there was one good part when he was that final fight between Dryden Voss and Han Solo in the office.
Yeah.
There was a couple. I'm like, what? Hey, I'm like, wait a minute. He's actually becoming Han Solo in this scene. You can see him start to own the role and start to assert himself and start to, be comfortable. And then they had to fuck it up with Emilia Clarke. And Emilia, he wasn't even allowed the dignity to be the hero in his own movie.
Well, I think that like his being a hero, because he's not a hero. That was my biggest complaint when I saw that first reveal of it, and it's all like Han Solo, like scoundrel, smuggler, hero. And I'm like, yeah, let's like slow your roll there. Slow your roll there. Not a huge fan of that particular word. He's got to grow into that, I think. But I did like that he shot first at the end.
Yeah.
I really liked that because I felt like that was him Like he knew his life was in danger, and he didn't hesitate. He didn't.
Maybe that's where he should have learned to shoot first.
That's where he kind of did.
But he did it already. It was like a Mary Sue moment for me. It was like that was really pandering to me.
How was that a Mary Sue moment?
Because it was like, oh, he saw it coming from my home. So did we. But it just, I don't know. The whole setup at the end just bothered me. Because I felt like I was watching Indiana Jones and fucking Crystal Skull again with, I'm a double agent. No, I'm a double agent. No, I'm a double agent between Amelia Clark and
that was
Harrelson
great though.
And,
I love that in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull because it was.
That's the worst part of the movie.
Winstone did a great. Well, no. What followed that was the worst part of the movie.
Oh, that too. The whole thing
with the fucking monkeys.
It's not so much, but like it was not so much like him being, but like him getting out of a tough scrape though. But for me, like the whole thing again, the whole fight scene with Dryden Voss was that finally this kid, Aiden Tallywacker, is starting to look comfortable in the role. So
yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah,
I get that.
And he was denied like the rightful outcome because apparently you're not supposed to come to a damsel in distress's rescue anymore.
Well, I don't mind. Again, I don't mind the idea of Kira being able to hold her own.
Yeah,
and that was also her getting her vengeance back on Dryden because the stuff she had to do to survive in there. Like the thing is, the movie did suffer from a lack of exposition with certain characters, and I'm wondering if the novelization will be any better if there's even novelization for it.
Homework, yeah.
Well, no, yeah, I know. I mean, like, I get that. But there was a Hannah Lando book that came out. Did you guys see that? The Last Shot.
No.
It is.
No.
I don't know how the fuck this thing came to print. I was thumbing through it at the bookstore, and it keeps jumping back and forth in time and locations. So maybe reading it makes sense. But I was like trying to look at this from like. And I'm like, no, I don't even want to read it. I just give me the fucking highlights. It's so weirdly
notes,
done. Yeah, it's so weirdly done. I don't think there's I don't know if there's a solo. I know there's a Han and Kira book that was coming out or did come out.
Can I get everyone's perspective here on The Last Jedi? Whether Episode 9 can help fix it or help many forgive it?
It's got it could,
how much
but it's
time
got
you got?
Yeah, it's got a really.
Well,
basically,
Rob,
that's not true. If JJ can put something together that's at least decent and does put a good, satisfying cap on the series enough that people are like, well, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, kind of like how some people are coming out of Solo, maybe. It might be too late. I don't know.
It's not. I think, and here's the thing. I think if you go into it with that mindset, then it's already too late for you. But I think, like, because that's the thing.
I just have a feeling more so that, okay, here's my point, what I'm getting to, Matt, is I have a feeling that the opening weekend for Episode 9 is going to be rancid. Like, they're going to just, like, lose their minds at how bad it's going to be. Now, depending on the word of mouth that comes out of that first weekend will dictate from there on out how things go.
I'm going to disagree with you there that it's going to be rancid. Given the release date of it, the fact that it's worked 3 out of 4 times,
but
is going to be Solo. Solo should not have. Look, okay,
and you can blame Deadpool and all this other stuff all you want.
There's like 4 reasons why Solo failed to connect as well as it should have, and Deadpool is a large reason of that. And Memorial Day weekend, like just the math in and of itself proves that. Where you've got a movie that dropped 77% on its second weekend, which would be Deadpool, and it pulled in still $42.7 million. And then Avengers Infinity War pulled in like another $17 million. And
okay, well, I'll tell you this right now.
From what
it's still Star Wars. It still should have done $100 million in that 3 days, not the 4, the 3.
No, I get that. But we're still talking about like 2 very well received films in front of it. 2 very anticipated sequels where Solo was kind of.
But most people who are going to see those movies already went and seen them, man. And don't buy into too many of the excuses now because you knew they were coming.
I'm telling you, but my
movie.
No, this isn't about the movies. It's not about my like of the movie.
There was 3 other people in the theater. When I went to see The Last Jedi, that thing was almost packed.
And because it was also Christmas, it was also a year after Rogue One. These things do take time to marinate, and the reason why you can sit there and look at Black Panther in February and then Avengers: Infinity War in May, and both films cross $1 billion, has everything to do with the persistent narrative, right? And that it's the establishment of that narrative. The problem with Solo is that it's an origin movie, and people weren't really asking for it. That is a reason. But when it comes to the financials, we're talking about Memorial Day has been shit for years.
I understand that, but just don't be surprised if this is the first episode Star Wars film to not gross $100 million since The Phantom Menace its opening weekend.
Well, wait, I don't know what The Phantom Menace opened.
It might do 100, but it's not going to do much more than that. I don't see it doing much better than Solo is my point. I really don't at this point. Even with Solo being better than some people expected, there's still quite a few people like me out there who thought it was worse than the last thing. Because like Doomcock said, it may not be as bad as The Last Jedi, but it does something worse and it bores you. At least with The Last Jedi, you're not bored. This, he was bored all the way through, and I was too. I felt the same way. I was like, when I wasn't bored, I was just frustrated with the movie.
The second act dragged the entire movie down, and it never really recovered. It didn't.
Sorry, you're talking Solo.
Yeah.
No, I will agree.
Movies,
The second act was a different. Well, sorry, no, I was looking up Phantom Menace box office numbers. No, I don't disagree with you on that one. The second act requires some work, but like the third act was all right. I like the first act quite a bit, and the thing is, the movie's going to be good upon repeat viewings. I think people are they're gonna kind of become more. They're going to warm up to it a little bit. I think as time goes on over the course of the next 18 months.
Yeah.
What we're going to see is either okay. So here's my prediction for episode 9. We're going to see a heavy, and I mean heavy, social media blitz starting later on this month for that movie because they go into production this month, and this is what they tried doing with Ron Howard with Solo in order to show you everything is fine, everything's okay. They had a big social media presence. Expect there to be something happening quite often with this, and this is going to lead all the way through production and then into post-production. The marketing blitz for this thing is going to be insane. They're going to spend more money than they've ever spent before on ads leading up to it. We're going to see a teaser trailer by the end of the year, right? We're going to see a teaser trailer by Christmas, probably in front of Mary Poppins.
Well, I figured that.
They're going to give us like they're going to do what they can to set a below in terms of like the negative reception, and they're going to start really building towards it. So I guarantee you, the first teaser, we're going to see Luke Skywalker, like because I'm pretty positive at this point Mark Hamill is going to be in it because I was looking to see whether or not he shaved his beard, right? And his beard is not as scruffy as it was, but it's still pretty scruffy. That could work if he was a ghost.
Yeah, but the way he's been talking, though, he doesn't sound like he knows if he's even going to be in it.
Well, that's also, but why? Yeah, but he also is pretty good at bouncing around. Like, did you catch the Colin Trevorrow comment though about episode 9? Did
No,
you?
I didn't.
Oh, that was crazy because I did cover the Freebot Theater. For those of you who don't know, I do cover movies. I have to show myself. Colin Trevorrow gave an interview where he talked about his experience. It was very minimal what he said, but what he said was very telling. He said like it was an honor to work on it, and he got to share his story, George Lucas, and Luke Skywalker. He didn't say Mark Hamill. He said Luke Skywalker. And so what does that tell you? That the Luke was alive. Yeah. And that was totally a subtle jab at the situation. And I think that gives more credence to the argument that they were fired over the arguments surrounding what to do with episode 9 with the killing of Luke Skywalker and shit. And then Mark Hamill has come out and said, well, wait a minute, if I disappeared, there's an error here. Where did my hand go? Right? Because my hand, it's not organic. If where did that go? Where'd the middle arm? So I mean, that particular little detail could actually lead them into like he's not dead. Think Gandalf the Grey type shit coming back as Gandalf the White. That could be something.
Okay, we're having some technical difficulties. It sounds like, but we're bouncing in and out here, so we might want to just kind of wrap this up here in a little bit. Anyway, I'm sure it's getting pretty late for Rob.
Yeah, it's about 1 in the morning. Yeah, well, actually, this is fun. I like this. I like this kind of looser atmosphere.
I have to figure out what's eating up on my bandwidth right now, but yeah.
Porn.
You got people tapping.
I do have a teenager.
There you go.
Disco, are you watching 4K MILF porn again? I keep telling you that incest is not going to help you.
I do a whole bit of it. He's watching quicksand porn.
Oh no.
Are you guys using OBS?
Yes, we are using OBS. Thank you for suggesting that.
Yeah, sometimes there are problems if the bandwidth starts dropping.
Yeah, it's going in and out and in and out, so I'm sure a lot of our audience is getting pissed. No, I lost you, Matt.
You're outputting.
There you are. What? I'm putting out about not enough.
Well, because you might be putting out too much. So you want to make sure for audio, I would say 2400 would be fine.
Oh, I have very shitty upload length. That's half the problem. But yeah,
the chat overlay. We were trying to figure out how to do that.
Oh yeah, that's.
You need a browser plugin.
What I do on mine is I bring up Firefox because it's just I think it's a lot easier to just.
We've been streaming for like an hour and a half too, but yeah.
Yeah, sometimes on mine, even on mine, it will crap out after like an hour and a half or so.
So yeah, we might want to call her a night here anyway. But we want to thank you for joining us, Matt. That was kind of fun, and we're definitely going to do this more often.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think this if this goes well, we might have.
Yeah, maybe we did piss off Disney too much, and they're throttling our bandwidth. Who knows? No, Oliver, this is not our first one, but it's our first one in probably close to a year.
Says, "Is this the first live stream?"
Yeah, it's been a while.
No, this isn't the first live stream, but it's been a while. Doomcock.
Actually, we tried to get him on, and he's very busy right now. Otherwise, we would have, unfortunately.
Yeah. Live stream is great. Yeah, thank you. Okay, well, for joining us. We can thank Mundane Matt for popping in.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and we'd like to thank all you guys for listening out there and for the questions. And we'll definitely have to do this again soon. I think we got more viewers now than we did before. That might be another reason why the bandwidth is getting a little.
Yeah. Just for the.
We lost you there, Rob. All right. Well, I'm gonna sign off for everybody since I'm losing everybody on my end.